Good evening, everyone. Okay. How's everybody doing? Good? I hope so. Yes, everybody's good? You guys are quiet. Tell me who's on. I'm talking like I can hear you, right? But I was even talking about seeing you. Hello, Elder Lou. Hello, Elder Norma. Mhm. Hey, Mike. I'm expecting a call. Someone wants to come see my car that is for sale. That's good news. Hi, Elder Penny. How did you sell it, Mike? You like just put a for sale sign on it and somebody called you? Or you have it like posted somewhere? Hi, Pastor Tees. Hello, Libby. Just a sign in the window. Okay. Yeah, because you can like, there's all these different like things that you can do, like to post. Is the camera too close? The heck? To post like if you're selling something or whatever, you know. That's what I was asking. Hey, Pat. Hello, Dorothy. Hello, Steve. I'm trying to think the last time I sold something. I don't remember. I do remember this. I know Abe knows this story. We sold his saxophone. This is years ago. And we did it on, I'm saying we did it, but I actually did it. I think it was Craigslist. It was either Craigslist or eBay. No, I think it was Craigslist. And he knew that, he obviously wanted to sell it, but he didn't know that I had actually sold it. So we left. The saxophone was in the car, and we actually met at this place. And like while we were driving there, I told him we're actually selling the saxophone today, and we're gonna meet somebody. We met someone like at a it was either like a gas station or 7-Eleven or maybe Dunkin' Donuts, something. It was something shady, like in the parking lot somewhere. Hi, Heather. Hi, Yolanda. It was weird. Um, I know that you have to like there can be some shady characters when you like post stuff online. That's why you never, if you sell something like that, you don't have them meet you at your house. You meet at like a place or whatever, you know. So I knew enough. I knew enough not to have him like the person come to the house. Um, but yeah, I can't. I think it's like the last thing that I sold. I can't remember selling anything. Heather, it's good to see you, honey. Okay, I think I'm making this too close. I don't want my face to fill up you guys' entire screen. I think that's a little bit too close. That's good. I never sold a car. I gave one or two. Sent a couple. Yeah. Yeah, I don't I've given cars away. I have done that. Um, I have like, traded them in or whatever, like, for your next car. I don't think I ever sold a car either that I can think of, that I can remember. You know the deal. I'll just give everybody another minute or so, and then we'll jump on. I actually might give a little bit more than a minute or so because what I'm going to share this evening with us isn't going to take up too much time. I'm not keeping you guys for too long today, so I don't want to jump off too early. And I know some people jump on a little bit late, which I guess they could always just watch it later. So we'll see. I'll give it a couple of minutes and then we'll get started. Oh no, where's my phone? I can't have my phone. Oh no, it's right there. Right in front of me. Let's get ready to shout. Abe. What? Oh. I had a little bit of a leak in my apartment because of all the rain last night, and the landscapers came. So I think sometimes the landscapers come. You know that drain thing, the water, whatever it's called, the rain drain thing that gets attached for the when the rain that collects on the roof. I said that's strange, but you know what I'm talking about. Um, they'll move it to like cut the lawn, and they won't connect it back, and then all the water comes down. Um, Pastor Ortiz is texting me on the side, people. Should I read what Pastor Ortiz is texting me? No. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's it, Mike. So I woke up this morning. I saw there was water coming out of from, and my bedroom is carpeted, so there was water on my bedroom. Um, but it's all good. I was able. I have a what do you call it? A wet dry vac. So I just went to work late, and I was able to take care of it. No biggie. Could have been a lot worse. I know Bobby had a lot of damage. Not last night, but like weeks ago. All right, people, you guys are ready to get started because I'm ready. Um, First, I still, of course, thinking about Sunday and every time we get together, it's blessed, and I am blessed. I'm pleased. Um, but yeah, so thinking about Sunday's message, and I've gotten a lot of feedback. Um, in reference to the message that I gave. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the feedback. I appreciate the encouragement. And one person was speaking to me about, and I said, I just pray that that message is heard by everyone who needs to hear it, because at the end of the day, for those who aren't saved, that's the message. It's a message of making them aware of their sin, make them aware of what that penalty is, and how the Lord, in His grace and His mercy, um, and His grace has given us an ability to be able to come to Him, to confess our sins and turn from our evil ways, and then that's how we know that our salvation is sure. And that's the message of the cross. That is a message that needs to be heard. And as we're reviewing Acts, that's what we're seeing. Obviously, we see a miracle or a sign or wonder take place, and then you'll see Peter and John begin to speak, or Stephen, when they speak the message, they 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 don't shy away from the fact of what the audience that they're speaking to, what they have done wrong. And that's what causes them to be cut to their heart, for them to recognize the error of their ways, and then they confess with what must we do to be saved. So we can't be afraid of giving that message. We need to, and everybody that we're speaking to needs to be aware of the purpose of this is because we're sinners and we have to be saved. And in order to be saved, we have to understand the message of the cross and understand the power of what took place by Jesus dying on that cross. So, as a reminder, don't forget, uh, Sunday coming up is our fellowship service. I know that we all look forward to it. You guys are looking forward to it as well. We had such a great um, spread of food last time. I think the ladies chose again to have the multicultural um, menu, so we'll get a lot of nice food. I saw a glimpse of the menu, and it looks pretty good. So we'll be at church on Sunday. We'll have a good time. We'll eat well, and of course, we break into smaller groups and just have a closeness, a better opportunity to be able to open up and to share and study the word with each other. So we can look forward to that on Sunday. So I'll bring the topic that I want to speak to us about this evening. And it's something, Delu, just tell will not distill the cornbread. You're absolutely right. I did hear about that. I did hear about that. Um, so the topic that I want to talk about is not necessarily something of a spiritual nature, although it can affect that. It's just something having to do with how we live our everyday lives. And what I want to speak about is procrastination. Procrastination. And what I can guarantee is it's something that every single person, including yours truly, has done at one point or another. What we have to figure out is if we're living a lifestyle of procrastinating. And just to further explain, procrastinating is basically taking a task or something that you have to complete and pushing it back, delaying what has to be done. Meaning that there's this one thing that you have to do, or multiple things that you have to do, and you decide to delay those things. You make a conscious decision to delay those things. That is procrastinating, and procrastinating can affect many different areas of our lives. It can affect our job, our families, our finance, our personal care, like our health, and it can even affect our ministries. And simply put, and this is something that is no grand revelation, it is not good to procrastinate. And we all know this. I'm not saying anything that's some grand revelation, but it is something that I think is important for us to be reminded about and talk about every now and then, because it can have a negative, lasting impact on our lives. And sometimes it can be just the smallest things that we can just put off. And it's like, don't put it off. Just take care of it. I'm gonna give you guys an example, and this happens to be an example with my job. There's this one task, without going to the boring details. There's this one task that I had to complete. Had to do with one of our vendors. I needed to change something in the system. Yada 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 yada. I didn't feel like doing it. I knew I had to get this thing done, but in my mind, it was this grand thing that had to take place, and it was going to take me hours to figure out how to do it, and I have to work with the finance team, and I just kept delaying it, delaying it, delaying it, delaying it, until finally last week I said, I'm just going to get this done. I took a moment. I set time aside to get this task done, and Within the first minute or two of me just thinking about how to process this task that needed to be completed, I ended up thinking of a very simple way of doing it. The process took me 5 minutes and it was complete. I kid you not. So something that I had been delaying to do probably 4 or 5 weeks. So this is something that I knew I had to do that needed to get done right away, and I delayed it 4 to 5 weeks because I just kept thinking about it. It's going to take so much time and whatever. I was able to accomplish this task in 5 minutes. Now, you may say, well, that was a win. That's an awesome thing. Partly you'd be correct in that. I was able to take something that I thought was going to take a long time and shrink it up. Yeah, that's fine. But me delaying completing that task caused a bottleneck of sorts. There was other things that were dependent upon what I needed to do. So all those other things that followed that were behind this project, those all became held as well, and that is negatively impacting in a certain way our business. And it's now causing me to have to do much more work to reverse the negative impact of what took place because I decided to procrastinate. Are you following me? Do you know that we do these type of things, or we can do these type of things all the time? Just do what you have to do. Take care of business. I mean that in every way possible. I mean that whether it's your job, your family, your finances, your personal care, your health, your ministry. Do you know? And if we're honest with ourselves and look at our lives and just look at something, let's say finances, for example, because that can be a big area where we can procrastinate. And I mean that in many different forms, whether it's procrastinating and putting together a plan, whether it's procrastinating and really looking at our finances and budgeting appropriately, whether it's procrastinating and paying a bill, or and knowing I need to take care of this, or and if I can't take care of it, I need to make appropriate arrangements. We can push all of these things off, and it creates a bottleneck. That one thing that probably was something simple can tie up things behind it, and before you know it, our finances are an absolute mess. And then we become overwhelmed, and then we're overwhelmed in all these things. Then we're not able to actually do what needs to take place because we're overwhelmed by how big it's become. But all this could have been avoided if we did not procrastinate. That can happen in our health. We can say, I need to get a physical, I need to do this, I need to do that, or we see something doesn't look right, we keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off, and then it gets worse and worse and worse. You know what I'm talking about? Something that can seemingly be like the topic of procrastinating can seemingly be, that's not really that important. We all do it. It's not really a big thing. It actually is quite large because it can negatively impact our entire lives because procrastinating can become an entire lifestyle. What do I mean by that? I mean, everything that we do, we delay or we make an excuse for of why we can't accomplish that. Or I'll do it this week, or I'll do it that day, or I'll do it then. I'll get to it. I'll get to it. And it becomes how we live our lives. And it affects our character, you know, and affects our relationships with other people. For example, if you say you're going to do something and something needs to get done and needs to get done on time, then you better do it. If you keep delaying it and it's going to now impact somebody else or how they look at you, then now that's affecting your character. Again, something that started off so small can become very, very big. It's important for us to be very much aware and conscious and take a moment and just to pause. One thing that we can say, and this is true, everybody can say that they procrastinate. That's the truth. I don't think there's anybody that doesn't have one thing in their life that they don't procrastinate over. What we have to ask ourselves is, has it become a lifestyle where it's affecting every single thing that we're doing, or it's affecting most of what we're doing? You have to consider it. It's important because again, it can negatively impact your life, and it can get to a point where it overwhelms you, where you're unable to even do little small tasks because you have all these things in your head. Now, I'll give you an example of having things in your head. I told you this task that I needed to complete with my job. That was not even that big of a deal. I just took a moment to think about it. But do you know for the 4 or 5 weeks that I wasn't doing it? Yeah, it was still sitting on my desk. Guess where else it was? It was sitting in my head. "Ugh, I've got to do that. Ugh." Every time I would sit in my desk or an email would come up or something would happen that would remind me of it, it's that thing, oh, I've got to do that. I've got to do that. I've got to do that. And it becomes wearisome. Why? Why do we put ourselves in these situations? If I just would have completed the task when it needed to be completed right away, then I would have been good. It would have been out of my head and I would have been on to the next project. But now I've created a mess for myself just because I decided to procrastinate. Heather says you must be talking about me. Heather, I'm talking about all of us. We can each find ourselves here. What we have to ask ourselves is it a lifestyle or is it becoming a lifestyle? Is it room for it to become a lifestyle? Then we've got to nix it right away. We've got to look at our lives and say, hey, I'm going to stop doing that. If something has to get done, I'm doing it right away because it's important. 9 times out of 10, this is the truth, with proper planning, you'll be successful. And that's a very general statement, very general, but it's a statement that can be applied to most parts of our lives. With proper planning, doing things the appropriate way, 9 times out of 10, you will be successful. Now, I say 9 times out of 10 because it's not a guaranteed thing. It's guaranteed to aid you in getting there, but it's not guaranteed that you'll always be successful. And sometimes when you do things last minute, you might get lucky, it might work out, but it can't be your lifestyle. Because I guarantee you this, you will not be that lucky every single time. And this applies to every part of our lives. This applies to our diligence in the word. We can all say to ourselves, I want to be in the word more. I need to pray more. I need to do this. I need to do that. Then do it. Don't put it off. Don't say, "Oh, I'll open up that word later. I'll do this later. I'll pray later. I'm tired right now. I'll get to it." Do it right away. Take care of what you have to take care of. I'm gonna give you guys a great example that we've witnessed recently. So you guys know we're obviously in chapter 7 of Acts, and Mike has been leading us in that book. Now, in that chapter, now you guys can see chapter 7 of Acts is quite lengthy. And those who were there on Thursday, or those who have watched on Thursday, can see all that Mike is taking us through of the history of what was taking place in Acts chapter 7. I'm going to ask you a question. All the guys know, when their turn is and what book they're going to read. If they wait till a day before it's time to review their lesson, do you think they're going to be successful? With all that Mike had to review in that chapter, if he would have decided, I'm going to start preparing this lesson a day or 2 days, or even the day of that Thursday, would he have been successful? Absolutely not. What I can tell you is he probably would have been able to put something together. It would not have been to the depth that it was. He wouldn't have given us the understanding that he gave us. He would have stressed himself out. He's been working on that chapter for weeks because it's necessary. And it makes things easier for you. When you try to cram things and you push things off, then you end up rushing it. You're not allowing yourself to be your best you when you procrastinate. In fact, in every single situation, give yourself time. Do so with appropriate planning, and it will be good. Okay? So now I want to say something else, and I don't want you guys to feel like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but it's important for me to give a full balance of understanding. I stand behind what I'm saying of the importance of not procrastinating. Now I want to segue a little bit. It's also important for us to be very much aware of ourselves. And what do I mean by saying very much aware of ourselves? Yep, important not to procrastinate, important not to delay things and take care of things right away. But it's also equally important for us to be very much aware of ourselves. And what I mean by that is be aware when it's time to rest. Be aware when it's time to take it easy. Okay? There may be things that are going on in your life that cause you to say, you know what? I've got to take a time out for a moment. It's necessary for me. Now, you may have some pending things. You may have some things that you need to accomplish. But because of where you are in your life right now, it's important for you to find peace, to seek the Lord for His grace, to find rest. It may be important for you right now in your life to do that. So be aware of that. Go to the Lord and pray about these things. And I mean this also just generally speaking. Maybe it's not something so grave that you're going through, but I just mean in life in general. Have some rest. I'll tell you something. We know those of us who go, when we go to church, it's a lot. Sundays are a lot. We're there early, we're setting up and obviously having a plan for the service and run what's going on. It's a lot. Do you know what I do after church on Sundays? I get myself some lunch. You know what I do? I take a nap. If when I can on Sundays, I will take a nap because that's my time that I'm tired. Are there other things that I could be doing instead of taking a nap for 45 minutes or taking a nap for an hour? Of course there are. There are laundry lists of things that I could be doing. But guess what's important for me in that moment? It's important for me to rest. Okay? Now, don't get me wrong. I am not telling everybody just take naps every single day. You'll get to it when you get to it. No, no, no. I'm not saying that. Again, I stand behind not procrastinating. Do what you have to do. But I also want us to be very much aware and take rest. We're not called to be superheroes either. It's important for us to take care of our bodies. It's important for us to take care of this, our mental health. It's very important for us to do that. And resting, having times away, leaning on other people, seeking people for help. These are all ways that we do that. So hopefully I'm giving a full balanced picture here of an important way that we need to live our lives. Be diligent. I didn't mention this, but I just thought about it right now, and I'm a big stickler for this. And I feel like it falls under the same umbrella of procrastinating. Be on time. If you have to be somewhere at a certain time, guess what? Be there at that time. That's important. That's important. And I feel that can fall under the same umbrella of procrastinating. If you got to be somewhere at 12 p.m., you're not waking up at 11:15 and running around the house and it takes a half an hour to get there. That's not how you live your life. Do you understand how much you stress yourself by doing that? That you're in the car, you're speeding, you're watching the clock, you're worried about what people are going to say when you get there. If there's any of you that get to work late every single day, don't do that. Wake up earlier. Be diligent. Don't put things off. You know what time you have to wake up in order to do everything that you want to do. Have your cup of coffee, eat breakfast, iron your clothes, whatever it is. Take a shower, brush your teeth, whatever you have to do. You know what time you got to get up to do that. So do it. Be diligent. Don't put things off. Take care of things right away you need to be taken care of. But also be very much aware of yourself. Take time for yourself. Rest and do what you have to do. Does that make sense? I hope so. It's important every now and then to just to talk about these um what's a good way of wording it? Life topics. I don't know what to call it, but just things that we should be aware of and how we are living our lives, understanding that it can affect our ministries, it can affect our character, our relationship with the Lord. Because if we live our lives in a constant, chaotic, stressful, waiting to the last minute, it affects everything. Then we're scattered, we're stressed, things aren't working out the right way, and then we're seeking God, asking Him to help us in a situation. Meanwhile, with proper planning, maybe we wouldn't have been in that situation. And don't, and I've said this before, it's important to recognize this. Don't say to yourself, that's just what I am. I'm a late person. I do this, I do that. you're all those things because you choose to be those things. It's not your makeup, it's what you've chosen to be. And very easily you can change that with diligence, with being responsible, with some discipline. You very easily can change that. And I know a lot of it has to do with upbringing and all that stuff, and it takes place in your very impressionable years. My father was very, very big about being places on time. And when I say on time, I don't mean on time, I mean early. If we had to be somewhere at 12 o'clock because the event started at 12 o'clock, guess what time we were there? 11:30. 100%. We had to get up and get dressed and be seated on the couch, ready to go, just waiting. And then when we were ready to go, we got there. We were always the first people to get there. That's the way he raised us. That's the way we lived. And you know what? I think it's a great character trait. I think it's excellent. You're not in a place where you feel like you're rushing and you're constantly stressed. Do what you have to do, okay? But it's not a personality thing. It's something that you can. I mean, well, it's partly personality, but I mean, it's not something where you can just say, "Oh, this is me," and that's just who I am. You can change it. Be disciplined. You can change it. Okay. God bless you guys. I pray you have an awesome, awesome night, and we'll see everyone on Thursday. We'll finish up Acts chapter 7, and then we'll go right into Acts chapter 8. God bless you guys. Have a great night. Love you.